welcome to Coco Eco Magazine, Behind the Brand. I'm Tiffany Paige of Green with Tiffany, which is a health and wellness platform focused on sustainability. And of course, it includes beauty and skincare. And so we're here today with Jean Seo of Évolué, her luxury skincare line, which I'm loving. I've been using it, by the way, Jean. So welcome, welcome. How are you doing out there?
Thank you, Tiff. I am good. Surprisingly, better than I expected. Yeah.
Well, I thank you for joining me. And I actually, put makeup on today, did my hair for you,
This is seriously, this is like kind of nerve-wracking for me. I haven't brushed my hair or really put on makeup in months. So only for you, Tiff, that I would actually go on camera.
Aw, thanks. Well, I appreciate you being here. And you have beautiful skin, so I'm sure that's attributed to your skincare line, the Évolué line. And so I met Jean, it's been a while now, but when you were here, you had that darling little eco luxury beauty shop, Évolué, by the same name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where I met you. It was actually close to where I lived. So when I went in there, I met you and, was learning all about the products. And then that's where I found out that you started your line, but you started it, you had this master's in library science. Like what? You were gonna be a librarian, right?
Yes. So I was a history major in undergrad, and like any history major that doesn't want to be a teacher, we have to go get our master's. Well, I'm Korean, so back then my grandmother, my mother, everyone was like, are you going to get married or go to school? Because what are we going to tell the family, So I started go to school. And I'm like, oh, I like books, I go. Realize that sometimes when you go to school, the thing that you learn the most is what you went to school for is not what you want to do. Right. So
happens a lot.
Yeah. And then, took some soul searching and realized non-toxic, at that time, it was called green beauty. Now right. It's gone to organic, to natural, and now it's clean beauty.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, but I thought taking toxins out of women's regimens was something that I actually feel good about doing. So
you were definitely a pioneer with that, right? On the forefront. And
yeah. No, I opened the first one in the US, the first green beauty store, and then there's Imelda that opened the first one in the UK, and Ring Mart was the one in Hong Kong. There's few women around the world that really were pioneers. Yes.
That's incredible. And so with that degree that you got, then you were able to kind of research all these ingredients, which is so important. People don't know about the ingredients, and natural doesn't always mean natural. And so, for you to really come up with something that works, because just because it's natural doesn't mean it works, right?
Well, so before we created chemicals, right? And I say create because actually everything was created naturally before then. But for example, my exfoliant is an old French recipe with just 3 ingredients: oat flour, milk powder, and chalk, magnesium carbonate. So it doesn't clump. And it actually is the best gentle, non-abrasive exfoliant there is. And the formula's been around for hundreds of years. We just have to go back to it.
We have to just what's old is new again, and what we used before was the better things, the better ingredients. So.
Well, people say oh, these chemicals, and I'm like, well, everything's chemical. But anyway, you just have to go back. Women clean their faces long before chemicals were around, right? So you just have to go back to how they did it. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I just need to go research to see which one worked the best.
And so Évolué is French, right, for evolved, which I love.
Yes. And people think it's clever, but honestly, I was going to make it evolve, but it was taken in the trademark. It's actually fancy.
Well, it's good that it's fancy because it's a luxury skincare line. And
yeah.
You created another line, a sister line, the Loué line.
Yes.
And
So when I was, so when I had the store, it was a luxury store. So a lot of women used to come in. And then I remember specifically like a girl who came in and just walked out and said, stores like this make me feel so ugly, because she couldn't afford like something in there. And I felt bad. And I said, why should like clean, good quality organic ingredients only be available to like people who can afford it? So, and I think that was like 2012. That's when I started formulating the affordable line, Lue.
Okay, so you have both. So something for everyone. I've sort of kind of been mixing the two a little bit. So, I'll use the Évolué, the cleanser, which I really like. It's so, the thing I like is everything's so light and creamy and smooth. And I'm not a big, fan of huge fragrance. I've kind of moved fragrances out of my lives, from even my laundry detergent, just a light hint of a smell. And so that's what, some of these have. And I love actually the Louis. This Louis exfoliating. I don't know. Can you see that? I love the smell of it. It smells like milk and clean, and it's really light.
Like breakfast.
Breakfast on your face. Yeah, it's great. And what I'm really interested in to know a little bit more about is this, the Évolué super oil that I was using.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if my skin just really needs what's in this bottle, but I put it on and gone. It totally absorbs into my skin. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, so that's like one of those products that I think I created because I love it, right? like what I mean by that is I have like normal combination skin, so I'm like oily here, dry there. I'm kind of like allergic to everything, so I needed something that like suits that particular skin type, and there wasn't any. Like there's oils and there's creams, but there really isn't anything in between. So what's special about the super oil is that like it goes on like an oil, but it doesn't have that greasiness, like none of it. So it goes on like oil, but then feels like a serum, but it has all the ingredients of creams.
Which is so nice. And I actually saw some of the reviews of people who have oily skin, and usually they said that oils, it breaks them out, but this is not. This is, it's amazing. It's really lightweight and it just absorbed into my skin. So,
it has squalene in it, which is olive derived. For all the vegans out there, they were like, Jane, you need to get a vegan oil. I said, okay. So
Thank you. We like that.
Yes. So squalene's like the best oil that goes into the skin without like a greasy feel, because it has low molecular weight. What I mean by that is low, like anything that's light or the lightest is the smallest molecule, right? Because it is small, it tends to be light. So it goes into your pores instead of just sits out. A lot of oils that are like larger or heavier, they literally just sit on the face. And because this oil is like dirt, pollution, like makeup, just sits there until it gets infected and causes an acne or irritation. So the secret to having the perfect oil is getting very light, very small moleculed oils like olive squalene. And then I mixed water and other vitamins like vitamin A, K, D, E, like anything that was oil soluble. And then I even made the vitamin C into oil soluble form so I can add it in. So it has the best oils and then also all the vitamins you need for the skin.
Amazing. So very ingredient driven. And, you have different places where you source these ingredients, right? How do you go about finding the best, farmers and the best place to get these ingredients?
A lot of times they come to me.
Right? Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Makes it a little easier.
Yeah. Obviously, I go to like conventions like Supply Side West. That's like a big one in Las Vegas that goes on every year. Mm-hmm. Even though lately it's been a lot about supplements. Which is like a whole nother topic, right? But when you go, like the same farmers that like supply supplements, because all my ingredients are food grade, like I actually buy it from them too. And then some, like those are easy ones, like I don't know, what are some easy ingredients, like saffron or beeswax or large quantity popular oils like coconut oil, things like that, aloe vera. But there are ingredients that are harder to source. Then I have to go hunt for them into like little villages in like Switzerland and things like that, which, you know, it's like fun for like that, like 15 minutes. You're like, on the run, but getting there and back is like, but yeah.
So like the jojoba oil you mentioned, like the first cold pressed jojoba oil.
Oh, yes. Okay. So when I was first making all the products, especially the dry cream, eye cream, and the gentle cleanser, they have the jojoba oil in it. But because I don't use any preservatives, like I use food grade preservatives. So like it's stuff that preserve food, but like it's not strong preservatives that like, I don't know, just kills everything, right? Including your skin. So when I was making the products, I noticed that like after a little while, the scent was just a little like stronger, and it's not a bad scent, but just kind of like a nuttier, like just like an organic scent, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me like why, and I realized it's because the jojoba oil I was using, like kind of like the wine where if you get the Riesling versus the late harvest Riesling, like the late harvest Riesling is the dessert wine that's a lot stronger and fruitier and sweeter versus the Riesling that's a dry white wine. Just like that with jojoba oil too. If you get later harvest ones, like it's very nutty and you can't tell right when you get it because it looks the same. Well, the color's a bit different, but after it sits, a new product, like the aroma comes out. So I had to go to a farmer and say, hey, I can only buy from you like if you can give me the early harvest oils, so that it's like less fragrant, right?
So interesting. I thought you were going to say more. It's like it's like a $2 chuck versus, you know, like an expensive bottle of wine, which I guess could be compared to that kind of similar as well.
It could be in that like it is a lot harder to find farmers that are willing to give, you know, early
premium.
harvest. Yeah. So they like want it's their harvest. It's like they don't want to cut. It's not that they don't want to. It's like it's harder to just cut all of them at once, right? So,
yeah. Well, that's amazing. You've really and so these are very, you know, you could call it like artisan or almost like a handcrafted, but it's not done in your
very
kitchen.
handcrafted.
It's done in a lab.
No. Yeah. Well, actually, like so in the beginning when I first started, I don't know if you remember the store, but like the store, there was storefront, and then when I started to make my own products, I got a cosmetics manufacturing certificate for the second half of the store. I still remember like the inspector coming and giving it to me and being like, "This looks like Breaking Bad. Like, good luck." You know, it was.
That's
funny.
great.
But
I love that show, by the way.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I'm like, this is like, do not ever kill the distributor. You know. Anyways, so I started making it in the back of the store, and at first I was making like 50 to sell at the store. And that's like all hand done. Like I should show you videos of how we used to just sit there like with masks and gloves. Like before COVID, I had all this. I had all the alcohol and things. So when COVID hit, I was like, who needs that? Anyways,
completely prepared.
So, yeah. So like we would just be like literally hand mixing, hand filling. And then when we got a bit bigger and have to make like hundreds and thousands, right? So you get the semi-automatic ones, which like takes a person, but like it's like machine and the person like works together to fill. And those fill about like 100 an hour, right? Compared to like 50 a day that you're making when you're doing it by hand, you know?
Amazing.
And then I had to start making like hundreds of thousands. I'm like, okay, I can't do this. So I go get a bigger machine that does 1,000 an hour. And that's more like all the human has to do is like put the bottle in the machine and it goes. And like, but after 1,000 an hour, you can't get bigger machines that go faster. Like you just get more machines that do 1,000 an hour. So you need a bigger warehouse and more electricity. Like don't even get me started on electricity, but
solar.
I'm in Arizona, so my lab actually, I built my own lab in Arizona. So yeah, it is all solar.
Oh, that's amazing. Taking that sustainable story down the, further. I love it. Do you have Do you have a favorite product? I mean, I know you don't want to maybe highlight just one, but is there something that kind of stands out to you at all?
So like the three things that I use, not just use, but three things that like I cannot live without. I mean, obviously I'm like, ha 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 ha. It's like, but I get more anyways. But like the three things is probably the resurfacing grains or erase, which is a powder that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one that you put on your face, let it dry, and just slough off. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
I don't think I even did that.
that's okay. That's okay.
I'll have to do it the right way.
But like when you slough it, the thing is that the reason why you have like blackheads, whiteheads, like hyperpigmentation is because you have the old skin on top of your face, and then underneath it is the fresh face. But like a lot of times when you're trying to like exfoliate off the skin that is damaged or clogged, a lot of these like exfoliants have ingredients like acids or like harsh exfoliants that cause micro tears. So the most gentle way is the resurfacing grains. And so like I can't live without that, especially my nose and like here gets so congested, like I have to take all that gunk out. Because it's all the oils and makeup and things like that that get stuck between the fresh skin and the new skin, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
I mean the fresh skin and the old skin. So that's one. Second one is clear. So it's a spot treatment that I use for mosquito bites. My
Voila.
yeah, my yes, my mosquito bites, my what do they call ingrown hairs, and then also the pimple that I get once in a while. Like of course, like I don't get pimples anymore thanks to that. And then like this morning I wake up and I'm like, really, seriously, do you see this?
Bust out that clear.
Yeah, so you just put it on for 30 seconds and tomorrow morning it'll be gone. So
yeah, it's fantastic.
there's that. And then the third one is my reverse time serum, which is collagen, elastin, which are two building blocks of like your skin staying firm. So if you can think of elastin as like the foundation, and then like collagen as like the walls, that's how your skin like stays firm. Like I'm Asian, so I don't have to worry about wrinkles as much, but I do have to worry about drooping.
Lucky.
So the drooping's like serious. But the hyaluronic acid that I use has a small size as like Juvederm, so it actually absorbs and like lives and helps my whole face stay, up more.
Up. Keep us up.
Please.
Yeah, the hyaluronic
So those are the
acid.
three items.
It's great. Well, I've really enjoyed using the products, so I thank you for that. And then I also wanted to mention that I have is this the hand sanitizer with the lovely light scent of honeysuckle. And I consider this my, I put this in my evening bag. I did go out the other night for a birthday dinner and I had this in my evening bag. And so I took it out to do, and everyone was like, oh, what's that? And everyone tried it. Not everyone, there was 3 other people. So they tried it. Just want to make sure I'm being very safe, but it smells so good. And it also has the hyaluronic acid in it, which is nice.
Yes. So like even before COVID, I had this at my lab because like it's a lab, so I have to sanitize, but like we're girls at the lab, so we don't want to. We're always complaining, we're girls, but we were complaining about dry hands. So we formulated it with hyaluronic acid, organic alcohol that we use for the clear actually. And that organic alcohol isn't just any alcohol. Indeed, there's only one like place in the whole country that makes it. And it's the alcohol that you use to make liqueur. So that's why even though you leave it on for 30 seconds, it doesn't burn, right? Like, do you remember sea breeze back in the days?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right? So like, so that's why like you can leave it on. Then also, in the hand sanitizer, it's one of the reasons that we're able to add the fragrance, because if you use just any other alcohol, and we've tried everything, because that alcohol is so expensive that I'm like, is there anything else we can use, right? And but it's okay, it's fine. I don't mind putting out the best like alcohol for the hand sanitizer. So anyways, So that's why we can add the fragrance. It doesn't dry out the hands, and the hyaluronic acid actually moisturizes the hands on top of it.
Which is great, especially, you know, with the different weather changes or sun. I mean, if you're using hand sanitizer all the time, which a lot of people are, it dries out your hands. So it's really, really nice to have. And we thank you because, you know, how often, you know, the other brands out there, the big brands that are in the you know, pharmacy stores and stuff, you're never going to know the founder and the formulator of your product, right? Just would never happen. So it's so nice that you've got these, you know, beautiful luxury products with really hand-picked ingredients, and then we get to know you as well. So, you know, you get to know about the brand, trust the brand, and it's great. So Évolué, it's EVOLUE, the Évolué luxury skincare line. And if you're interested with Coco Eco, you can get a little discount that Jean's offering. Thanks, Jean. So Coco Eco 20. So if you go on the site, you ship globally. Is that right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
And it's evolue.com, EVOLUE.com. Social media is just Évolué Skincare. And at the checkout, just put in the code and it should work. And if it doesn't, just email me at info@evoluebeauty.com. I do all my own customer service. My friends think I'm insane, but actually, like, I started at a store, right? And I love doing customer service myself. That's how I know, like, what the customers want and what they think and what they need.
That's a big deal. And then, you know, yeah, you get to talk to the clients and find out what it is that they're in need of. So I think that's important to wear all the different hats. Well, thank you. We thank you, Jean. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the Coco Eco magazine, Behind the Brand. And we'll see you next time. Have a great night, everybody. See ya.